5 Puzzling Mysteries We Solved by Science. Hey guys, welcome back to High Tech 10s. As humans, it's natural for us to be curious about the world we live in. For eons, we've been studying mysteries about our past, space, and our very own existence. Seeking answers, we gather facts, form hypotheses, and conduct observations or experiments. Sometimes we remain puzzled. The causes of unlikely phenomena, of seemingly impossible developments, and of strange occurrences continue to mystify us. At other times, however, we discover, we learn, and our knowledge expands. In this video, we take a look at the most baffling mysteries that we have solved thanks to science. Stay tuned. Titan's waves. In many ways, Titan's landscapes looks like that of the Earth. Saturn's moon has several, quote, lakes, seas, and river channels. However, these apparent bodies of water don't contain water at all, nor were they carved by running of water over eons of time. With surface temperatures as low as 290 degrees Fahrenheit below zero, Titan is much too cold, freezing in fact, for water. Instead, scientists believe a mix of liquid methane, ethane, and other freeze-resistant hydrocarbons are responsible for the apparent bodies of water. Planetary scientists agree that Titan is a, quote, wet world, but they are mystified as to the reason that the lakes, seas, and river channels lack waves. After all, in addition to the moon's low gravity, there is wind, as the moon's plentiful sand dunes prove. Therefore, there should be waves. Maybe the lakes are frozen. Maybe they're, quote, covered with a tar-like substance that damps wave motion. These theories would account for the absence of waves, but new data suggests that these explanations are wrong. There are waves, recent studies indicate. They just haven't been visible because during the winter, the atmosphere is dense with cold, heavy air, and the moon's winds are too weak to move it, or to make waves. As the moon warms with the approach of summer, winds should strengthen and move fast enough to make waves detectable to radar. If so, Titan's waves will help scientists to evaluate the climate conditions on Saturn's moon and could indicate the, quote, viscosity of the waves' underlying fluid and its chemical makeup and help determine, quote, the speeds of the overlying winds, providing an independent check of Titan climate models. Mystery solved. Antarctica's Blood Falls. An eerie red river runs across Taylor Glacier in East Antarctica. At the mouth of the glacier, the river tumbles over a cliff into Lake Bonny, looking exactly like its name, Blood Falls. What caused the strange appearance of this mysterious blood-red river? This question has mystified scientists since its discovery in 1911. Originally, algae were considered the culprits, but this hypothesis was never verified. What has been discovered by scientists associated with the University of Alaska Fairbanks is that, quote, oxidized iron in brine water gives Blood Falls its unusual color as the iron in the salt water, making contact with the oxygen in the air, oxidizes, in effect, rusts, and dyes the water red. The salt water makes its way to the edge of the glacier from an underground lake, as pressure forces the water through the glacier's, quote, fissures and channels, in a journey that takes 1.5 million years. The water wouldn't flow at all, of course, if it were frozen, but it avoids freezing because, quote, latent heat associated with water freezing, the water's supersaturation in salt, and, quote, the high pressures at the base of the glacier maintain the salt water at temperatures above freezing. Geometric droppings. The droppings of the bare-nosed wombat resemble charcoal briquettes. The nocturnal marsupial excretes as many as 100 cubes of feces every day. How the wombat accomplishes this astonishing feat was a mystery. Now that scientists have unraveled the puzzle, they find the solution just as amazing. Seungwon Jung, a biophysicist at Cornell University, wasn't a member of the research team who found the answer, but the findings leave no doubt, he says, that the wombat's intestines are, quote, very special. The marsupials live in Australia's grassy plains and eucalyptus forests, passing their days in tunnels and eating plants by night. To mark their territory, the animals leave their scat behind. Roadkill in the form of a wombat revealed part of the answer concerning how the animals are able to produce cubes of dung. The wombat's intestines contained, quote, 2 grooves where the guts are more elastic. The dissection of 2 additional wombats shed more light on the problem. A 2-dimensional mathematical model of the animal's guts indicated that the wombat's intestinal sections contract over several days, squeezing the feces as the gut extracts nutrients and water from the excrement. Stiffer portions of the gut contract more rapidly, the soft areas more slowly, the latter molding the final corners of the cube. Cell bones. Cells don't really have bones, of course, but they do have structures that perform functions similar to connective tissue. In both plants and animals, actin filaments, quote, thin, flexible protein strands, support cells and cellular functions, growing, shrinking, bonding with other things, and branching off as cells move. How actin filaments form chains by linking together, a process known as polymerization, was a mystery to scientists, a mystery that simulations using supercomputers helped to solve. Researchers developed that an actin filament lengthens much more rapidly at one end of the strand than it does at the other. The end that lengthens less quickly acts as a binding site, making a quick connection that allows the polymerization reaction to continue. This ability enables cells to perform a variety of tasks. For example, Gregory Voth, the Haig P. Papassian Distinguished Service Professor at the University of Chicago, says that, quote, when a cell wants to move forward, it will polymerize, acting in a particular direction. Those actin filaments then push on the cell membrane, which allow the cell to move in a particular direction. The improved knowledge of how actin filaments act has important and wide-ranging therapeutic medical applications. Greenland's dark zone. Until summer, Greenland's ice sheet, as viewed from the air, looks like an immense, bright white expanse. Then, as temperatures increase, the western edge of the field becomes dark as algae grows there. This so-called dark zone has become increasingly larger in recent years. Scientists wanted to know why. The ice sheet covers much of the world's largest island, 1.71 million square kilometers, or 656,000 square miles to be exact, which is 3 times the size of the state of Texas, and the sheet is a mile thick. It may not be that size much longer, though. Its permanent retreat, losing 500 gigatons, 500 billion tons, of ice every year. The increase in the size of the dark zone has a lot to do with the decrease in the ice sheet's dimensions, scientists have found. The mystery behind the surge in the growth of the algae that compromised the dark zone has now been solved. It's caused by the layer of carbon and phosphorus-rich dust that covers the area. This layer of particulates reduces the amount of sunlight the ice sheet reflects into space, causing the ice to warm, and in the spring, the ice melts and the dormant algae migrate to the surface, where they benefit from 24-hour sunlight, which enables the plants to photosynthesize and grow, as their green colors darken to protect the algae from the constant sunlight. The plant's growth is further facilitated by the phosphorus-rich dust that's locally supplied from, quote, hydroxylapatite, a phosphate mineral that also contains calcium, oxygen, and hydrogen that gets blown across the ice as dust from exposed rocky outcrops. The solution to the mystery of the dark zone's growth should help scientists track the rate at which Greenland's ice sheet melts, since the warmer atmosphere promotes greater deposits of phosphorus from local rocks, which drier expose more phosphorus, which in turn provides more nutrients to the algae, which then increasingly warms the ice, creating a continuing cycle. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.